Hey everyone, it's Ferocious Llama. I'm here again with the Modern Lantern Control deck. We won the die roll, so we'll go ahead and play first. And this hand is fine. We'll go ahead and keep it. Alright, turn one, we're going to go ahead and play at Blackleaf Cliffs. And we'll throw out a Ghoul Caller's Bell. And now next turn what we'll do is we'll play our Llanowar Waste and our Pirate Spellbomb using our Llanowar Waste, and then we need to crack our Pirate Spellbomb. We will go ahead and do so. Alright, our opponent is playing Merfolk. And we'll go ahead and mill each of us. Now hopefully this will be a fine matchup, because once we resolve our ensnaring bridge, should be pretty difficult for our opponent to beat us. And hopefully this turn what he'll do is he'll play a Lord, and then we will play our land and our ensnaring bridge. And then everything will be okay from there. But if our ensnaring bridge gets countered, we're gonna try for an Ancient Stirrings on the following turn, and then we're just gonna kind of hope. What we'll do is if ensnaring bridge, okay, not a problem. Does it matter that we don't have red or black mana? It does not. Yeah, that's fine. Because now we're guaranteed to resolve our ensnaring bridge, which is the key card in this matchup. And we can't pop our Pirate Spellbomb, and that's fine. But not really a big deal, I don't think. Alright, we got a Lord. Alright, go us, right? Alright, okay, now we have two Ancient Stirrings, so hopefully he doesn't, do our, kill our Llanowar Waste, because that would suck. Alright, Ensnaring Bridge. And I'm kind of thinking we should probably Surgical Extract his Lord of Atlantis. Because he's definitely got four of them. It's a Lord. I'd like to get maybe like a Mirror Reedry, because that lets him untap a lot of stuff. Which is bad, but, he's just got so many different Lords that it's kind of okay. Well, our opponent obviously had some Lord of Atlantis in his hand that he was going to play next turn, and gave up. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, because we didn't really get to do what the deck does. But that is okay, I guess, because we still won, right? That's what matters. Okay, now I think maybe I don't know if we should put in Pyroclasm, because he has so many. Our opponent has so many Lords that a Pyroclasm really isn't enough. It's almost like we need Anger of the Gods, but this deck really doesn't have the capability to do double red spells like that. I mean, look at our mana base. It's we have 4 Glimmer Voids, some Blackleaf Cliffs, and Copperline Gorges. So we have and at Tendo Icebridge. So we have, what's that, 9 sources of red, which, okay, you could argue that's a lot or enough. But to reliably cast it early in the game, I don't think that's enough. So I think what we're going to do, I always like to side in Sun Droplet. I think it's a great card. Really gains us a lot of life. So we're going to take out the... Actually, you know what? We're going to leave everything in. We're going to take out the probes, because he's playing Merfolk. I mean... let's see. It's mono blue, so there's nothing we really have to worry about. We don't need our Bow of Nylea in this matchup, but we'll just go with 3 Sun Droplets, and hopefully it'll kind of keep us from early beats if we end up not, drawing our cards. I don't know if this is really the best sideboard plan, but against the decks that are really aggressive, I find that Sun Droplet is quite good. Alright, this is not bad. We will certainly keep it. And what we're going to do is we're going to kill his first Lord, whatever it may be. Alright, Kurt's Catcher. Now it's important to note that Curse Catcher only counters instant or sorceries, which is relevant. So, all right, we're gonna go Pirate Spellbomb, and then we'll go ahead and drop our Mox Opal. I don't think he's gonna have any artifact kill or not artifact kill, but discard effects or anything. But what we definitely don't want is our Mox Opal getting countered. That's the very, very worst. So we're trying to avoid that. Alright, 1 damage, not bad. We'll take it. And a Mutavault, sure. Alright. And our opponent plays an Ether Vial and leaves a blue mana up. Presumably for Spell Pierce. But we'll see. Okay. Relic against us. I guess that stops our cranial extraction, or surgical extraction rather, but I don't know if that's I don't know if that's really the best course of action. All right, let's see here. All right, we're gonna play Llanowar Waste. It doesn't really matter if we play Llanowar Waste or Copperline Gorge, because either way, Copperline Gorge is coming into play untap next turn, and then because if he's gonna try and Spreading Seas our land, I'd rather him do it to Llanowar Waste than the Copperline Gorge. Definitely not the Glimmerwood. That would be the very worst. So, all right. So hopefully what he'll do is he'll play a Lord next turn, and we will kill it with our Pirate Spellbomb. I'm hoping our opponent taps out this turn. We could have played Ensnaring Bridge, which may have been the better play, but I'm kind of trying to force our opponent into acting, is essentially what I'm trying to do here. But see, they're not buying it this time. So we will play a Pithing Needle or Pithing Needle, whichever you prefer. I don't know which is the correct pronunciation. I just remember when it came out back in, I think it was Kamigawa block. It was Pithing or Pithing, and it was a whole big deal which one it was. Alright, you can have a Curse Catcher. Well, Guy, now do we name Ether Vial? Of course we do, right? We could name Relic, which may not be bad. Now we're going to go Vial. That just seems like a better idea. We'll play Ancient Stirrings. Because now our opponent can't just vial in his lords. He's going to have to cast them. Oh, wow. Okay. We'll take an Ensnaring Bridge. Thank you. And we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll only have 5 mana next turn, which I'm not going to say 5 mana is not enough, but, you know. It's not 6, which would be better than 5. Being that we have 2 Ensnaring Bridges in hand. Alright, but he's got a Dead Ether Vial, which makes me happy. And if he wants to do a damage to us, we will take a damage. Sure. All right. Sorry about the little pause there. There was a spider on my microphone. I know it's one of the weirder things, but it's a thing that actually happened. Okay. Yeah, I don't... I guess our opponent... I don't know. We don't have Metalcraft anymore, so our Mox Opal doesn't work. But it doesn't matter anyway. Sure, you can remove that. That's, well, it was gonna get recurred, but not now. Alright, so our opponent has one card in hand. Well, sure solved that problem. Nice draw. Nice draw, deck. And let's see what our opponent's got. It's probably... It could be a counter spell. Could be another Merfolk. I mean, he's only got one card. He hasn't played any counter spells. It's probably a counter spell. But I don't know. Like a Mana Leak. Maybe a Remand. But as soon as we see his hand, he may just concede, but we'll take it. Because it's got to cost less than 3. Otherwise, it's not a concern to us. Because if it costs 2, it's going to be a Mana Leak or a Remand or whatever else. And, very sneaky. I don't know why we wouldn't pay for that. Because we're paying for it. Because even if we can't play an Snaring Bridge until next turn, the odds of him just top decking a counterspell is less than if he does not top deck a counterspell. Oh, it was a Hercules Recall. Ooh, good one. Okay. Wow. Good. Not bad. I'll give him that. Not bad. Of course, targeting us. All right. Better than discarding it, I suppose. Now, I'm thinking, well, our opponent has no cards in hand. A little bit of a waste. All right. So we're going to play our Mox Opal again. That doesn't do anything. And then we're going to play our... I'm trying to think, should we play our Pithing Needle on... I think we actually play... Now, this could be wrong, but we're playing the Pithing Needle on Relic this time. Because we just don't care that much anymore about the Ether Well, because he has no cards in hand. And if he draws a Lord and gets a Lord or whatever, yeah, we'll take some extra damage this time, but whatever. Sure. So he could have drawn a counterspell, or another Hercules Recall. Oh, he got us on that one. Well, Hercules Recall. We're going to find out what's in his hand. The purpose of this is to find out what's in our opponent's hand. That's really what we're doing here. Okay. And our opponent gives up, again, probably because it was a Hercules Recall or a counterspell in hand. We don't know. But without Hercules Recall, he really had no way to bounce our stuff unless he runs Cryptic Command, which I'm not sure if Merfolk even does. But anyway, that's kind of the Lantern Control deck. I mean, we didn't even get to Lantern Control at all. We didn't get a Lantern, and we only played one, Codex Shredder or whatever the other one is. We were only able to do one thing, to mill us one time in game 1, and then, game 2, he Hercules Recalled us, which is good. I gotta give him that. That was good. But see, then we needled the relic, so he couldn't see. It was all I mean, yeah, we got lucky with the surgical extraction draw, but I think the relic was good because we can mill, just mill once we get a mill card, and then just keep putting our stuff back on top that we want. So anyway, that was one match. He doesn't. That's not really how it normally works, but this game was all about ensnaring Bridge because he's playing Merfolk. It's an aggro deck. So thanks for watching, guys. Hey guys, it's Roche Llama. I'm here with the modern Lantern Control deck, and we won the die roll, so we will play first. And this hand makes me really nervous. I don't like it. I don't like it because we don't have any non-Glimmervoid lands. So if he finds a way to, like, I don't know, if he has, like, turn 1 Nature's Claim or something on our Mox Opal, we're just screwed, pretty much. So we're going to keep it and see what happens. We're going to turn 1 duress our opponent. We'll play our Mox Opal, and he thinks we're playing Affinity, but we are not. And the reason I say that I think we're playing Affinity, we're playing Burn. All right, well, I guess we get to use those Sun Drops I like so much. All right, let me just take a screenshot here. All right, so I can remember what he's got in his hand. A Forked Bolt. Haven't seen that one since Treasure Cruise got banned. The biggest problem is going to be probably Lava Spike. Just because it's cheap or whatever, and just because it's cheap, yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't have one more mana. We're Wooded Foothills. Next turn, Pithing Needle, Wooded Foothills. This is gonna be great. Oh wow. Sure, that's a perfectly legal play. Goblin Guide. What do we reveal? An Abrupt Decay. Well, I guess. Certainly not a bad card, but not exactly what we're looking for. Pithing Needle. I'm sorry I shouldn't laugh so much. On Wooded Foothills, because he had one in his hand. Alright, and then we're going to go Pyrite Spellbomb. Now we have Metalcraft, and we're going to see if we can get a free card, and then kill his Goblin Guide. I'm so proud of myself for Pithing Needle is Wooded Foothills. What do we got? Lantern of Insight. Well, let's just look at the top card of his library, which is nice. And our library, too. Let's see, does he have any tricks? It doesn't matter. Kill. Alright. Nice. So let's see, what can our opponent actually play? He can play a Forked Bolt. But does that only do damage to creatures? I'm not sure. Is Forked Bolt only creatures? Oh, he drew a mountain. Okay. So now we know 1, 2, 3, 4. We know 4 of his 5 cards. Which is okay. Alright. Lantern Insight. Boros Charm. And a Mox Opal. Alright. Well, he has no white mana right now, and he can't fetch it with his Wooded Foothills. I'm trying to think, maybe we should use his... the other one. The not Sacred Foundry. The red-white fetch land. Arid Mesa. Well, we can wait until we see one, because we can see the top card of his deck. Alright, well, we'll pass the turn back because we don't have a whole bunch going on. And that's kind of one of the weaknesses I found with this deck is, I mean, our opponent's not killing us real bad right now, which is awesome. But at the same time, we're not, you know, we're certainly not in control of this game right now. We're just not getting killed. Yeah, sure, we'll go ahead. We'll Inquisition you. Oh, and our opponent gave up. That's kind of a bummer. I think the thing was, this was his hand that we saw, and we got his Wooded Foothill, so he had no way to get white for Lightning Helix, which is awesome. Searing Blaze, there's no creatures to target in this deck. Forked Bolt, I don't know if that targets people or players or just creatures, but either way it's a shock, so who cares. And we killed this Goblin Guide early on. So, our opponent was just waiting for us to play things so he could Searing Blaze us, I guess. But it didn't quite work out for him. So, doesn't always work that way. And then when we were going to Inquisition him, we were going to take his, of course, best card against us, which in that case was the Boros Charm, because it can do 4 damage. So we're going to lose the Gitaxian Probes, because we don't need them that much. And... we're going to put in the 4 Sun Droplets, and I think we're also going to take out a... I'm debating between a Duress or an Ancient Stirrings. The Ancient Stirrings is always nice to help us find the things we need, but I'm not sure how this is going to go. Let's take out an Ancient Stirrings, only because I like the discard, because all the discard doesn't cost us anything, and every discard spell saves us a minimum of usually about 3 life. I mean, it could be as low as 2 life, but generally they only run, you know, 3 damage or more spells, so 3 damage is legitimate. Alright, we have no mana. And we have too much mana. And we still have too much mana. And we have no mana. Wow, this is really swingy. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess we'll lose to this. We're cool with that. I mean, we're just going to sit here and make our opponent think we have something. Yeah, we'll take the 4 damage. Because we have no way of getting rid of that thing. But you see, we didn't know he had that before. Now we know. Knowing is good. I didn't know if he was running. I didn't think they ran Vexing Devil that often. But they do. Well, not often, but occasionally red decks will run Vexing Devil. Sure, another one. See, he's essentially a 1 mana 4 damage burn spell, which is pretty good. Alright, let's see what we got. Oh, we can't play it because our Mox Opal isn't active. Guy, if we don't lose this, it will be hysterical. But there's no way we can't lose. Sure, Monastery Sorcerer. Well, our opponent only has 1 mana, which is nice. Pithing Needle. What can we name? I can't think of anything. Well, we could always name Wooded Foothills. I mean, hey, it won us the game last game, so let's do it. Let's go Wooded Foothills again. Wooded Foothills. Because, you know, there's a possibility our opponent could draw one. Alright, and a Goblin Guide. Now the onslaught comes, and we don't win. Unless we land. We gotta lay. Oh, wait. we might be able to turn this around. We're at a pretty low life total, and I don't know how much burn he's got in his hand, but if it's just creatures, we might actually be okay. But the likelihood is we're going to die next turn. But, hey. We are going to try. Do the best we can, right? It's all we can do. And I'm thinking we should not Ancient Stirrings. Actually, we're going to Ancient Stirrings because... oh, guy. That was nothing good. I was hoping for another Sun Droplet, because that could kind of keep us alive. So, we'll just grab a Ghoul Caller's Bell. Maybe we should have drawn a land gotten a land right there, but it doesn't matter. We have 3. I mean, that's kind of enough for what we're up to here. So, I don't know if our opponent's going to have... yeah, we might die this turn right here. Or next turn. But if we survive these 2 turns, we may actually be okay and win the game. Not win the game, but not lose that bad. How about that? On our mold to 2. We're doing really good considering we mold to 2 this game. I do want to point that out. Yeah. Should we redirect it and lose our spell site? No, because it'll save us 1 damage now, but cost us 2 next turn from the Goblin Guide, so that does not seem like a bright idea. Oh, wow. Okay. Alright, so we got a Sun Droplet. And we got a Pirate Spellbomb. And... let's see. I don't know what's going to happen. Because this is kind of a weird thing. He's only got 1 mana, which is good. So if he's got a burn spell, I don't know if he can kill us. Alright, well, it looks like he's got a Lava Spike, which is precisely the perfect card to kill us, because we cannot redirect it. Yeah, we can't do anything. So we lost, which on a mold of 2 is kind of what you expect. I don't think we lost as badly as I was expecting to lose. I was expecting to not even worry about playing the Sun Droplet, but it worked out pretty okay the way it worked out. But yeah, in that game I was really just intending to just sit there and die and learn about his deck, but it was weird because we didn't just die instantly, and maybe he was just kind of playing us to try to get more information. But looks like Magic Online's lagging. There we go. Alright, we've got 1 land, and, well, we have an Ensnaring Bridge, which is good. So we're going to keep this. I don't know how good, Ensnaring Bridge is great, but I don't know how good it is against the burn matchup, because you might just play a bunch of stuff, So next turn, we are going to duress our opponent, which will be good. And a Rift Bolt, okay. Oh, nice. A land, just what we wanted. Alright, so we'll play our Mox Opal. And then we'll play I think it's a good idea to play Spellskite, and then we'll duress our opponent. Wow, okay. Destructive Revelry, nice, okay. Wow, okay. Well, we'll take the Boros Charm because it does the most damage. See, Ensnaring Bridge, not very good right now. When our opponent has no creatures in hand. But what we will do is, and he's certainly not gonna, yeah, he's certainly not gonna do that damage to our Spellskite. That would be terrible. All right, we'll mill our opponent. We got a Vexing Devil, not bad. Not that it matters because we have an Ensnaring Bridge, but you know. I wonder if Destructive Revelry is actually better. I wonder if Destructive Revelry is better than a card like, I think it's Smash to Smithereens, that basically destroys an artifact but does 3 damage. I guess Destructive Revelry does enchantments too, I think. I didn't read the card that closely. I assumed the green part makes it do enchantments. And he's probably going to Destructive Revelry something right now. Yep. Our Spellskite. Yeah, there's nothing we can do. Nothing we can do to stop that one. So we'll mill our opponent again. All right. Oh, that wasn't the end of his turn. That was the end of our turn. Derp. Not that it matters, but well, it does matter because if I had milled him after, he would have a Vexing Devil. Not that it matters because we have an Ensnaring Bridge, but he does have another Destructive Revelry. Sure, Lava Spike, yeah. What we really need is a Sun Droplet right now, or like 3 would be sweet. So let's try and do our thing. Oh goodness. How does this happen? Where we have no where we have no no Sun Droplets. Maybe we should have boarded in our Bow of Nylea also, because it'll gain us 3 life every turn. Yeah, which is pretty good. Alright, our opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. They're going to have 3 now, which is, if they got Bolt, 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 they win, but we know one of them is a Destructive Revelry, and even if it's Bolt, Bolt, Destructive Revelry, they win. One of them's a Boros Charm, too. That's the other thing. Oh, wait, did he? No, we took one of them. So he's got a Bolt and a Destructive Revelry that we know about. Let's draw a card. Okay. Oh, great. Another Ensnaring Bridge would have been great in that Merfolk matchup, but not so hot in this one. So we're probably going to lose the game this next turn, on our opponent's next turn, which happens, and, you know, sure, let's mill our opponent. Okay, we got to stop around. That's a little bit of a bummer. We were hoping he would draw that, which is why we need the Lantern of Insight, but... Oh, he thinks we want Metalcraft. We don't care about Metalcraft. I'm thinking what we need to do... We're going to wait until our opponent's upkeep. and we're going to kill his Sacred Foundry just to get him off white mana. Because there's a lot of white. It probably doesn't matter that much. But we're probably going to lose right now. Because he's got a Bolt in hand that we saw. And we don't know what his other card is. So maybe he's just like trying to... I don't know. Trying to see what he can do. Or see what we're going to do. To see how our deck works while just not killing us, which is silly. But okay, yeah. Do you have another one? Oh, he doesn't have another one. What was in his hand? Oh, okay, there you go. Alright, we didn't win that one. So, Burn's always a tough matchup against a really, really, really aggressive. This is probably the, one of the most non-creature aggressive decks. I think that's kind of the thing is it doesn't use creatures because Ensnaring Bridge will stop all the creatures without much trouble. It's the Burn, and we really need Sun Droplets to win, and they really have to not kill our Sun Droplets. But it looks like this guy was really prepared with Destructive Revelry, and I would bet there's other artifact removal. Like I bet he does have Smash Smithereens, just because Affinity's so good. And there's a lot of artifacts in Modern. But anyway, that's match number 2. We weren't able to win. Kind of a bummer. That Molda 2 on game 2 didn't help. But I'll be back with some more matches. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright. Hey everyone, this is Roche Llama. I'm back with the Modern Lantern Control deck. We're going to keep this hand because we have lands and we have a couple spells, which are always nice. It's nice to... We have a couple of good spells, rather, is what I mean. I'm just rambling incoherently. For those of you who haven't seen the first videos in this set, I played several matches, and actually what I don't show you guys is there's a lot of times I'll play a match and I'll get through most of the first game, and then our opponent just quits and then concedes the whole match. And it's like, I'm not going to post us not finishing a game out because that's not fun to watch. So it's kind of unfortunate because I haven't actually gotten to quote unquote Lantern Control anybody in this whole video series so far. The one guy that I did ended up quitting as soon as what? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay. I suppose, that's actually one thing about this deck that I did want to mention was I saw this deck like a month and a half ago or a month ago, and it was just, some garbage, whatever, it was fine. And why did our opponent give up? Well, anyway, this is the kind of stuff I deal with, guys. Our opponent knew we were playing a Lantern of Insight deck, because no normal person would ever counter a Lantern of Insight, because it's just not that good. So they knew what we were playing, because they saw this deck. Because funny enough, recently, LSV, Louis Scott Vargas, who everybody knows who he is, posted some videos on channelfireball.com for a Lantern Control deck, is what he called it, and that's where I got the name. I didn't know what to call it before. I was going to call it, weird garbage Lantern Codex Shredder deck or something. Lantern Shredder or something like that is what I was going to call it. But anyway, he posted a video online, and a whole video series, And so now everybody knows what the deck is, so they know to counter Lantern of Insight, which is sort of funny because it's not something you normally think of people countering. Anyway, but this is the kind of thing you deal with a lot when you play this kind of a deck, because it's really like a prison kind of. It's a control deck, and it really locks out your opponent after a certain point where we can mill 3 or 4 cards if we need to. So we just mill until we get them, till they draw something that we don't care about. And then we let them draw that. And essentially, they can't draw anything, and then we just deck them, is what happens. So, I don't know. But anyway, this is the kind of stuff that happens a lot. So, I think this will be the last video in this set. But thanks for watching, guys. Go ahead and leave your comments, like the video, share the video. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, it's Ferocious Llama. I'm here with another modern deck. Kind of a brew. I saw it about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. I really didn't think anything of it, and then just it was funny because I recorded these, and then I just recently saw that Luis Scott Vargas had posted this same deck on channelfireball.com. So it's kind of a cool deck, a little bit wacky. I don't know how good it is, but it's certainly a fun deck to play. Once it gets going, and I think it's a little fragile, but it works, and it's a pretty cool deck. We'll start off with the lands. We have 2 Academy runes because it's a lot of artifact based deck. A lot of artifacts in the deck, so it's because it's artifact based. 3 Mox Opals for additional mana, and then down here off the screen is kind of our combo right here. Is our Codex Shredders, which you probably never heard of. Says target player puts the top card of his library into his graveyard. And then we have Ghoul Caller's Bell, which is both players put the top card of their library into their graveyard. And Lantern of Insight, that says players play with the top card of their library revealed. And we can sack it to make a player sacrifice his library or shuffle his library, but we don't ever do that hardly, because what we're trying to do is when we see a card that's a problem for us. Here's our plan. We get Ensnaring Bridge into play. If we're playing against, someone with a lot of removal, Spellskite. So that we can get our Ensnaring Bridge into play, we protect it with Spellskite. We kill anything of theirs that's pesky with Abrupt Decay, and surgically extract anything that's a major problem. And then basically what we do is when we see a good card on the top of the library, we use our Codex Shredder or Ghoul Caller's Bell and mill it. And a lot of times we'll have 3 or 4 of these in play and build them just mill, and then until they draw like a land or something we don't want them to draw, and then problem solved. It's pretty sweet, actually. And then we have 3 Pithy Needles because Quasali Pride Mage is a problem. Seal of Primordium is a problem. There are, several problem cards that it really helps to stop. In fact, in one game in this video set, because I already played before I did the deck, before I'm doing this deck tech, I named a land, a fetch land, and opponent only had one other land, and I'm sure it contributed to them losing that game. So. And then we have two pirate spellbombs because they kill stuff and they kill our opponent if we really need to. If they have like a very aggressive deck or something we can't really control that well, if they have just so much like a burn deck, we really don't want to try and deck a burn deck because we'll be there. That's a project. What we'll do is we'll pirate spellbomb all their stuff, all their creatures, and then we'll kill our opponent with pirate spellbombs. So, kind of a cool deck. It's red, green, black are our colors. And, I'm sorry, not red. Not on the main board. The only red is for Pyrite, Spellbomb. And for the sideboard, we have Pyroclasms and an Ancient Grudge. And then the sideboard, we have three Nature's Claims. Now, most of the time I found that when we kill our own, it's better to kill our own stuff with Nature's Claims. They're like vest against like the burn matchup. If you notice, like the entire sideboard is really focused around real aggro heavy decks. Like Ancient Grudge is good for killing any artifacts. Nature's Claim gains life, and I found that they're great against burn. Pyroclasm is good against any kind of aggro deck, and then Bow of Nylea. It's versatile. It's silly and it seems weird, but it has won me a game before. Not in this video series, but it won me a game when I was playing earlier this week with the deck. They had a Snapcaster Mage, and I had 2 cards in hand. Or I had 1 card in hand, they bounced something and thought they could attack me. So, in response, I just put a +1/+1 counter on their Snapcaster Mage and made it a 3/2, and then it couldn't attack. So, it's got that going for it. It also gains us 3 life, which is always good. And it can do 2 damage to stuff with flying. I've never used that ability. I've used it to gain life, because I was worried about Burn or Siege Rider or something like that. And I've used to put counters on the opponent's creatures. I've never ever used the Death Touch ability, that it gives, because there are no creatures in this deck, except for Spellskite, but it doesn't do any damage ever. So, and then we have 2 Welding Jars just for removal heavy decks. Grafdigger's Cage to stop Collected Company, because Collected Company is very, very good, and all the Collected Company decks are a real thing, and one of them even won, I think, GP Charlotte, I think is what it was. The Collected Company Elves deck beat Splinter Twin. Now, to be fair, though, I want to tell everybody I saw that, and I don't know if anybody else saw that match, but the guy playing Twin was playing a Cavern of Souls instead of a Tectonic Edge, and they say he'd been playing it all day, but his deck list didn't match the deck he was presenting to play, and the penalty for that is a game loss. So he got a game loss, and then he essentially played a game 1. And so no sideboards, but it's basically Elves has to win 1 game and Twin has to win 2 in order to, whoever does that first wins the tournament. And the guy playing Elves drew his single copy of Fauna Shaman and immediately searched up as soon as he could, searched up a Spellskite when the opponent had the combo in hand, like about to kill him. And so he just had like 2 Llanowar Elves and a Spellskite and a Fauna Shaman, and was just swinging for 4 every single turn, and it was pretty awesome. And ended up winning, but it's a real deck, and I'm saying I don't know if that would have happened in a 2 out of 3 matchup with sideboards and everything else, but I am saying that Collected Company is a real thing. But before everybody starts selling off their Splinter Twins to go buy Collected Company, just know that there was a game loss ahead of time. And then Sun Droplet, great against Burn. I found that Sun Droplet, it's not as good as I thought it was. I think it's a great card, and I tried playing it. I didn't draw any against the Burn matchup, which was kind of a bummer, but he had tons of artifact removal anyway, so I don't think it mattered because he would have just killed it. But I found that I like Sun Droplet against like the more like creature-based decks, but not decks that are not removal heavy, but spell damage heavy. Like just like creature decks that don't have a lot of disruption, I guess, is what I think Sundrop is good for. Because it's easy to kill. Everything kills it. Everything that kills an artifact kills it because it's a low casting cost. And everything else. And then it takes time to gain the life back. So it's really only good against, like decks that have one creature attacking you. And, if it's like a 2/2 or a 3/2 or whatever. So those, some of those Grixis decks that'll play like a Creeping Tar Pit and try to kill you with that. Sundroplet's great against that, especially at 2, because it's each upkeep, not your upkeep. So you'd gain, you'd take 3 damage, and then you'd gain 1 life from each one during your upkeep, and 1 life during your opponent's upkeep from each one. So you'd gain 4 life. You're essentially gaining a life every turn. In fact, I've done that before, where I use my Llanowar Waste to, play like a 1-mana artifact, but you use it to make colored mana. So I make black or green mana. It pings me, and then I get 2 counters on my Sun Droplets, and I just gain life back. And so I essentially gain a life. So that was a really neat interaction. So there's a lot of really cool interactions in the deck, and really it's about controlling our components' draw steps is really what this is about. And it has really, really minimal stuff. Like, it's got 4 ensnaring bridges to prevent creature combat, because that's what we don't want, is, our opponent to attack us and kill us. And then it's got a little bit of disruption. It's got duress and inquisition. And then, surgical extractions for those real big problem cards. And then all the rest is mill. And then really the only board control of any kind is Pirate Spellbomb and Abrupt Decay. And, Ensnaring Bridge, sorta. But the only conventional cards are Abrupt Decay and Pirate Spellbomb. So, not a whole lot going on there. So this deck does have a problem with very aggressive decks like pretty much anything with a lot of aggression, like Burn and creature decks. Creature decks, if we get an Ensnaring Bridge out, we do okay, but a lot of times it's Burn. Burn is the hardest one, I think, in my opinion, based on the matches I've played with the deck. So, anyway, that's the deck, and I hope you guys enjoy the videos. Thanks for watching.